I need the scoop.
A father's bizarre outburst leaves his daughter questioning her family's intentions when he damages her home and makes cryptic comments about her nephews moving in. This Reddit confession sparked intense speculation as users debated whether this was manipulation, dementia, or something more sinister. Join us for a family mystery where disability accommodations, unexpected accusations, and a father's strange behaviour collide in ways that left thousands of commenters completely baffled.
I don't know if this is the right place for this story, but in this moment, as the only blood-related woman on my father's side of the family, it feels gendered. Maybe I'm wrong. A few days ago, my dad came over to my house for the first time in quite a while. I've had a lot of renovations done since he last saw the place when we first moved in. I have a nervous system condition which, while I'm very fortunate to be able to manage it in such a way that it usually doesn't impact my life most days out of any given month, can render certain simple tasks very difficult for me when I'm having a flare. It's also important, as part of managing my condition and maintaining my high level of function, to limit certain activities which can bring about a crash or a flare. My husband is also disabled. He has hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. So together we made a list of things we'd love to have as accommodations in the home we share, and we either did these things ourselves or found contractors to do them for us. I'm really happy with the results. I find that these accommodating renovations make my life a lot easier. I have fewer crashes and overall more energy. My husband is absolutely elated with how much more functional he can be after we made these changes. My father isn't a fan. He thinks it all makes the house too weird. He's worried about the resale value, not that we're planning to sell anytime soon. He had a lot of comments when he came over. In fact, it was almost all he talked about. I kept trying to gently tell him that this is just what works for us, and then divert the subject, but he was getting a bit worked up, which isn't really like him in those types of situations. The plan for his visit was he'd come over, meet my foster dog that he might adopt, and take the dogs for a walk, then get lunch. When I left him alone for a minute to go use the bathroom after we'd walked the dogs, I came back out and found that he'd attempted to pull one of our accommodating mechanisms out of the kitchen wall. He hadn't caused any functional damage, but he did cause aesthetic damage in that it will now need to be repainted. I was shocked and kind of hysterical in my reaction, and I raised my voice at him when I saw what he was doing. I think I yelled, "What the hell are you doing, Dad? What's your problem?" And he responded, "I just wanted to see if it was removable. Sorry, it's just too weird. It's too weird. It's just not going to work when Billy and Bobby move in with you." Billy and Bobby are my nephews, my brother's kids. I have never invited them to stay with me, let alone move in for any amount of time, and I've never been asked to do so. Even in the event that my brother and sister-in-law passed away in some tragic manner, to my knowledge, I should be very far down a very long list of people who could be asked to take those kids in before I would be asked. So, I was pretty shocked my dad would say something like that out of the blue, and with so much frustrated emotion about Billy and Bobby moving in, because there's no reason, to my knowledge, for anyone to think that would possibly be happening. I asked him to clarify repeatedly, but he just waved it off and told me to forget he said anything, and he didn't want to talk about it. I pressed him, and all he said was, "Well, honey, it's a massive house. You have room for 2 boys. When I asked him why he would even bring it up, though, and clarified that not only did I have absolutely no desire to host my nephews for a visit, let alone to move them in, he clammed up again and just said, "Forget I ever said anything." He apologized for damaging my home, immediately transferred a larger sum than necessary to me via Zelle to fix the scratch he'd made, and then took me out to lunch as we planned prior. The rest of the day with him was pretty normal, and I guess I was just a little shocked or something because I didn't bring it up again. But now that it's been a few days, I can't get it out of my head, and I'm so annoyed. First of all, my dad hasn't ever been, and would never be that aggressive about any decoration or renovation in my brother's homes. He just wouldn't. And I can't help but feel that he is less respectful of my home because I'm a woman, which sucks. But more upsetting and confusing, what was he talking about in terms of my nephews? Like, is my family conspiring in some way to move those kids in with me? It wouldn't be the first time that my family assumed I'd take care of those kids without asking me first, but in the past it was just babysitting, and I have directly told everyone that even that is unacceptable. So I would be really shocked if my brother or sister-in-law thought that was acceptable. I talked to my brother on the phone about the situation, and he expressed that he had absolutely no idea why our father would imply that Billy and Bobby would need to move in with me at any point. He seemed genuinely surprised and to have no clue what our dad was talking about. He claims to have absolutely never expressed anything like that to our dad, and I believe him. I asked him if there was any possible reason at all that Dad would think that I'd need to take in my nephews. Like, is there some problem Dad thinks he is pre-solving without consulting either of us? Is there an illness or impending divorce or anything I don't know about? My brother assured me that there's nothing like that going on, and that, as I assumed, I, of course, wouldn't even be near the top of the list of permanent caregivers, even if something was going on. He knows I run 2 businesses out of my house and also just am not up for taking his kids in unless I am the absolute last safe resort. Both of us are in agreement, as is our other oldest brother, that Dad generally doesn't seem to have any other signs that we've noticed of declining cognitive function, like at all. But since this was such a strange outburst, we're still concerned that this is just the earliest sign. My brother, Billy and Bobby's dad, is going to talk to our dad about it as soon as possible and see what he says or what explanation he can give. Then we'll go from there. The issue that we're both aware of is that my dad, while a loving father and good man to many, is a bit of a liar and a lot of a manipulator. He has a lot of signs of OCD and gets fixated on things, then tries to manipulate to get his way with his fixation. He means well, but he has been known to be full of it and to have his own strange agendas that don't have much to do with anyone else's wants or needs. So, unfortunately, my brother and I, and my brother has volunteered to go first, are going to have to confront him by essentially saying, "Dad, it's really important that you're honest about whether you are confused or intentionally lying, triangulating, or manipulating, because that's the difference between us freaking out about your health versus us just understanding that sometimes you lie to push your agenda, but your brain is fine." I guess I'm just spinning out and don't really know what to do about it. I'm stuck between asking my father about it again first or just reaching out to my brother directly. But now, my brother is involved and we're going to get to the bottom of this together.
Family dynamics can be complicated, especially when manipulation and health concerns blur the lines between truth and fiction. Subscribe to our channel to catch any updates on this puzzling situation, as the original poster works to uncover what's really happening with her father. Share your thoughts on setting boundaries with family in the comments below, and check out our recommended video for more stories about navigating complex family relationships.